What's going on, guys? This is Zerko Anime back with another video. Back with another video. This is going to be my 75 sub special. What if Deku was a villain? Just a warning: the audio quality won't be the greatest. For now, I'm just recording on my phone's microphone, so nothing special. So we start what if with Oh no, I'm pretty much going to explain the backstory of this sort of. The reason I've chosen this particular background, and if you looked at the title, which I assume you did, the reason it is in quotation marks is because he's not exactly a full villain. This Deku is, pretty much, this Deku suffers from a condition called dissociative identity disorder. It is a real thing, you can look it up. The most common causes is, well, usually the way it works is trauma before the age of 9 pretty much causes you to, your mental stability to snap and create an alternative personality. Usually the exact opposite of your regular self, and it is pretty much meant as a way to protect. It's a protection method. Yeah, anyway, it's a way to pretty much protect their psyche, I guess. They become someone else. I'm gonna say that from a very young age, Bakugo and his parents abused him a lot. Again, I need the trauma. Anybody that actually loves Deku and is listening to this, I'm sorry. He's getting traumatized as fuck. Yeah. Sorry for the cussing. If you don't like cussing, I do occasionally cuss. I try to stop it around my family and in videos, but it's something I can't really help. Sorry about that. Anyway. Right, back with the what if. Up to the age of 9, they'll abuse the shit out of him. Since the canon Deku, he's gonna have a similar personality. Sort of. I mean, it's not gonna be exact, but he's still gonna want to become a hero. Pretty much to make sure that what happened to him never happens to someone else. But in the process of him getting, all that trauma, he eventually snaps. Actually, I'm going to say that at the age of 9, because that's kind of how it works, he is going to, snap. The way dissociative identity disorder works is you are not aware of the other actions. Like, a lot of symptoms are blanks in your memory, for example. So pretty much he snaps and he kills them at the age of 9. His villainous other identity, somewhat strong. And through this, if you have seen JoJo's Part 5, you probably know of W, who is, I'm gonna say spoilers for that. He's a prime example of dissociative identity disorder. This Deku, this alternate personality, that alternate personality has a quirk, similar to Doppio and, what's his name, who has King Crimson. Pretty much they have two separate stands that usually work together and form one stand, sort of. So I'm gonna say that he has a telekinesis as well as fire quirk. He can create fire. He has pyrokinesis as well as telekinesis, and pretty much he burnt his house to the ground. Since by this time he's been diagnosed quirkless, no one suspects him, because they just find this crying child that's just run out of the house. I'd say that he the way his alternate personality actually killed them is through it's like Doppio, they are going to be able to communicate. Um, in a way, they are able to communicate in a certain way, similar to Doppio. Fake phone calls. He's probably going to use a frog, maybe at some point, just for the similarities. It's easier. I don't mean Frobby, I mean a literal frog, like in Part 5 of JoJo. If you don't know, if you haven't seen JoJo and don't plan to, I guess this is still spoilers, but it doesn't really matter. But you also won't know what I'm talking about. I think I've roughly explained it to a degree where you can roughly get it, but I don't know. Anyway, so they find him, the police kind of question him. He says he doesn't remember what happened. All he remembers was that his dad hit him, and then the next thing he knew, everything around him was on fire. They chalk this up to a villain attack, maybe. They're not 100% sure, but they look through the records and find out, oh, this kid is quirkless. They doubt he's a late bloomer, but they still do some tests, and he does not show any signs of a quirk again, so they're like, must have been a villain attack. But in reality, it was his alter ego, his alternate personality, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to call him Villain Deku. I'm gonna say that he's adopted by another random family, one that actually supports him, so pretty much he has low contact. He has no contact with it until okay, never mind. That's annoying, but whatever. Right, so he doesn't have any contact until one day when he's, say, 12. He finds a frog in the garden, or actually he starts making a I'm not good at making the ringing noise. He just makes a ringing noise, and he runs over to the garden, and he finds a frog, which to him is somehow a cell phone. Pretty much he says, who is this? Into the frog, and then his voice switches to that of a deeper voice, or a deeper, more sadistic voice. And it replies to him, I am your new master. You will serve me. Together we will achieve greatness. We will destroy this hero society. Because pretty much, heroes didn't stop the abuse that he suffered for years. And so pretty much the alternate personality hates heroes. Deku still kind of wants to become a hero, but in his mind, this person can contact him from anywhere, although it's literally just inanimate objects or random objects that are roughly the shape of a phone. He thinks that they can contact him from anywhere, so it must know where he is, and he doesn't have a choice but to listen to him. Right, so with the what if, I'm getting distracted. Sorry about that. So pretty much he agrees, and the voice says to him next, I will help you and protect you as long as you serve me. And he's like, Because I'd say he would have moved schools, but he's like, protect me, huh? Sounds good. I think I might actually join him, openly now, instead of just being forced into it. Anyway, he thinks about it, he sort of considers it, but still kind of wants to be a hero. He's not gonna be... I might send him into UA, I might not. Anyway, I'm gonna flash forward. I'm gonna flash forward, say, to when he's 14. Pretty much he's walking along, and the sludge villain, he's walking under it, he's about 20 minutes away from the bridge. The sludge villain kind of hides himself in the... on the roof of it, on the roof of the tunnel, and he sees the child 20 meters away, and he's like, this kid will do. And then... But then he sees something very odd. The kid starts making a ringing noise, like with intentionally, like with his mouth or whatever. And then he rushes over and grabs a piece of wood. And then he starts talking into it. Well, what is it, boss? 20 meters ahead of you, there is a villain. He is hostile. I will help you. I will protect you. Pretty much, the sludge villain is well aware of all that's happening, and is like, the fuck is wrong with this kid? The fuck is with him? Oh, again, sorry for the cursing. I guess it's a villain though, so probably would. I don't know. Suddenly, his previously, yeah, that's green eyes turn red, and then he throws fire at the thing, pretty much burns it to a crisp, runs off, and then he talks into the piece of wood again. Izuku, I have eliminated the threat. All Might is on his way. Get out of here ASAP. If you run into him, just say that another hero took care of it. And then that's only your last resort. Get away now. Nezuko pretty much runs from the scene. The sludge villain gets away but does not attack anyone again, and he's like, the fuck is with that kid? I'm gonna say Darby. He just runs into Darby. Darby ends up killing him for fun, because, it's Darby. And the sludge villain is probably taken care of, but Darby notices this guy's kind of already burnt. Someone with a firework. Maybe one of my family, my father. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I support the theory that that Darby is Toyo Todoroki, Shoto's older brother, who we don't get to know much about, but all we know is that he left at some point, I believe. I think he's presumed dead, but pretty much from what we know, from what the theory says, he pretty much made himself unrecognizable because of Endeavor, he was a failed project, whereas Shoto was the perfect mix between ice and fire. But I mean, there's probably better mixes. In all honesty, like, even if that's pretty good as on its own, say a water quirk, if combined with a water quirk, say if you could turn that water into gasoline as well as change its temperature, you could pretty much do anything with it. It could be also considered a weather quirk, I guess, if you had water. I don't know, away from stuff that's not a part of the what if, pretty much the All Might comes to find that the sludge villain is gone and there's no one here. He thinks, damn, he got away. But I'd say eventually the police find the burnt corpse of sludge villain, and they're like, well, he was. We'll ask Endeavor about this, but if it wasn't him, we'll probably chalk it up to, like, say, maybe a villain battle over territory, because I guess that would probably be something that is sort of common in the My Hero world. I don't know. Darby is not going to join the League of Villains early. Actually, I'm going to say that Zugu did not run. He stayed and, like, All Might's here. And the wood, he says into the wood in his deeper voice, no, kid, get out of there. Do not interact with All Might. All Might will just find the kid there. Will ask, have you seen a sludge villain? Have you seen the sludge villain? Zuku's like, sorry, All Might, no, but I have a question I need to ask you. All Might says, what, young boy? Can I become a hero without a quirk? All Might is, kind of conflicted, because he doesn't want to crush the kid's dreams. I mean, it is a quirkless kid, but he also wants to be honest with the kid that he cannot become a hero without a quirk. He'd die in seconds. So in the end, he decides, I'm sorry, kid, but you can't become a hero without a quirk. Maybe you can become a police officer or something. They may not get much recognition, but they do a lot behind the scenes that really do help heroes. So instead of becoming a hero, you could become someone that helps them. But then All Might sees that the kid's, he has a crushed look on his face. And All Might's like, well, you can't help them all, I guess. And he does not consider him a potential candidate for One for All. Because, I mean, the sludge villain is now dead, so there's no Bakugo incident, and Midoriya has pretty much completely left Bakugo behind, and is going to a new school with his new family. The new family has no idea about his alternate personality, but then, again, I don't know, someone might eventually notice it. I'm gonna say that the alternate personality can sort of take control of Deku, like, not completely, but sort of can take control. Like, he can choose when he comes out. I'll tell you that he does get he finds the League of Villains and says, I want to help you. I mean, this is obviously the villain part of him. Deku has no idea about any of this, because he does not know about this conversation ever happening. He just goes, I'd say it'd be at night, he just goes blank, and it seems like sleep, but in reality, it's him recruiting himself into the League of Villains. He is going to participate in the USJ raid. He might eventually meet twice. I mean, in terms of being mentally fucked up, they might be on similar levels. I cannot remember, or if they ever revealed Twice's backstory. I mean, if you know about, I'm gonna not get into manga spoilers. Anyway, back to the what if. Pretty much, he doesn't apply for UA, but he pretty much everything goes the same as canon. But Tetsu gets into 1A. Mineta is expelled, as well as Hagakure, because they're both useless, and I'm just gonna say they leave the class at 18. Aizawa was not getting any more, because he's obviously eliminated the two weakest. He sees that some have potential, some not as much as others, and for example, and though Todoroki has almost unlimited potential, having the perfect balance, but Aizawa quickly realizes he doesn't use his fire side. Pretty much, come time for the USJ, the Universal Simulator joint, I think that's what it's called. Simulation, situation, one of those three. Come time for that. Pretty much, the villain part of Deku goes to the thing and says, I will participate in the raid, on the USJ, as well as my subordinate. Allow me to just call him. He grabs a bottle off the shelf and pretty much types it, and then says into the phone, Izuku, you'll be participating on a raid on UA. Are you prepared? Then they notice something. His voice goes more high pitched and seems younger, and he replies, "Yes, sir. I am ready. But what's someone that's quirkless like me going to do?" Everyone's kind of creeped out, and then Kurogiri, I'd say, says he does seem to have a lot of knowledge. He says it's said that there is those in the world with multiple personalities within one body, but he doesn't say it within earshot of Zuko and villain Deku. And everyone kind of realizes, oh shit. And Kurogiri also explains it's usually caused by a lot of trauma. And everyone's like, oh shit, this kid, some fucked up shit must have happened to him for this to happen. And, well, he continues saying, and back to the conversation between Zuko and Villain Deku. Villain Deku replied to Zuko, "Don't worry, I will also help you. With my quirks, I will lend you the power of my quirks and allow you to get revenge." And then he whispers into it, "Kachan will be there. Don't you want revenge?" Zuko kinda does, because this personality does influence him. Like, it does kind of shape the way he is. It is kind of manipulating him, even though it is himself. It's manipulating him to extreme degrees. I mean, he's gonna have a mask on and pretty much be wearing a hoodie with a mask, and he's got the pyrokinesis and telekinesis quirk. Everything's gonna go similar, except he's gonna be up there with Shigaraki, because like they're like, ooh, this kid has two quirks. He could be useful. Azuku pretty much learns how to use the quirks instantly, and he holds on to the bottle, so so people will see him people will, see him talking into a bottle in two different voices. Some will label it as insanity. I'd say that at least a few people in when I would know a bit about mental disorders and general psychology, so some of them might realize it. Anyway, come time of the USJ, everything goes similar to canon. Pretty much, Deku is up there with Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and the Nomu. He's pretty much he passes the villain side of Deku passes on information to both Deku and the League of Villains. I'm gonna say that I'd say that the villain Deku is, I don't know, I'm gonna make it sentient, like he is aware that he is just almost another soul within this boy's body, the opposite of this boy. He knew that from the start, and hence why he's been manipulating him. And pretty much he in his villain Deku state tells him, I am aware that I am almost as if he's aware that he's an alternate personality. He explains that to them, like pretty much without the other Izuku knowing. Shit. Never mind that. He explains that to the villains, that he knows he is just an alternate personality. The personalities can fuse together eventually, but I'm going to say that they don't. They won't. He might eventually, he might get recruited into UA, but he's still gonna. But the villain Deku side is still gonna be trying to, get him to be a villain. Because he, hates heroes, especially All Might. He hates All Might. Izuku doesn't really hate him, but he sort of hates heroes because of, letting him go through that. And it's a love-hate relationship, I guess. Come time, when Aizawa gets defeated in the way he does, it's gonna be the same. The Nomu gets taken down in the same way, and Aizawa, with the last of his strength, captures Izuku. They notice that he has this random bottle with, beer in it, and they're thinking, why would a kid have this? And eventually they realize, this beer expired ages ago, what the hell? Izuku snatches it back off them, because I'd say this would be an interrogation. And then, they notice his eyes turn red, and he starts almost as if pushing buttons on it. And whisper and says into the bottle, Zuku, we've been captured. Don't panic. As you know, we've been captured. Do not panic. I will find a way to get us out of this. Then they see that his voice goes back to what it was before, the more high-pitched, baby-faced voice. Okay, master. But what should I do? And then it switches back to the voice of the deeper voice. And he says, for now, just stay within their control. Just stay within, UA or wherever they're holding him. I'd say that they pretty much bring in a psychologist, and eventually that psychologist diagnoses him with DID. Then All Might realizes, this is the kid that asked me if he could be a hero without a quirk. And then he's like, oh shit. Then he realizes, oh shit, this kid does have a quirk, but it seems that only his alternate personality has it, but can lend it to the main brain. They don't know which is the original at this point, but they think that it's the Izuku the one, and eventually they figure out it is the Izuku one. Now, Kurogiri is going to try to break him out, because he's obviously a valuable asset to them in terms of strategy, because the villain Deku is smarter than regular Deku. Yeah, he's got 2 quirks and has amazing strategy skills. Nezu is going to offer Zuku a chance to join UA. Azuki says, but I'm quirkless, and it's obvious that I've been working for a villain. They're like, oh shit, the two personalities can communicate, but he doesn't seem to know that it's the same person. So they say, well, didn't that man give you power? Are you still able to access it? He says, maybe, but he would probably get mad. Because, yeah. And eventually, they're just gonna come to the conclusion that he will join Class 1A because there is actually 2 open spots. But he's reluctant, and his villain Deku will still be trying to gain access to him. Now, please like and subscribe. I'm going to end it off here. Thank you for watching. This is Kazoko Anime signing out.